try here. Okay, so this is the first time I'm opening the community editor. I packaged it up with the new file that you sent me this morning, Guru, but I haven't actually used it. Let's make sure that it works. There you go, pointing it to BigBox, hoping it loads up. Nice. So I basically made a list of all of these themes that I'd either want to create, want to port over, want to recreate in the editor. And I obviously was not smart enough to I was not smart enough to bring that list over to this computer, but this was one of the ones I was looking at. It's called, it's a RetroPie theme by, I don't even know how to say his name, Alphatonaut. I'm not sure how old is this. 2017 theme. It's the reason I picked this one is because I think that it would be a good starter stream, because it's fairly basic to port over, I think, or to recreate. Wouldn't be a straight port. Was that like a little line there? I can barely see that. But at the same time, this theme does look really nice. Fairly clean. Not too many views, although there are a bunch of, let's say, platform-specific views that would need to be set up here. Horizontal boxes, vertical boxes, and I know that there was a bunch of, let's take a look here. Oh, it's a video of him making a video of his theme house. Okay, so there's this basic vertical one. What do we got here? There's this one. There's this one. Of the description down here. I guess this is for a square box like PlayStation. It looks like, what is that? That's not TurboGrafx 16, is it? This looks more like a the PC Engine box. And then here's his horizontal box. And then that seems to be it. Yeah. Oh, anything different here? Okay, so I think that's doable. One thing mistake that I didn't do beforehand was figure out where the GitHub of this is located. I'm assuming that he's using just some free fonts. Let's take a look. Called ArtBook, RetroPie. Let's do GitHub. And I went to the RetroPie. Let's get rid of RetroPie. That looks better. Is this correct? Let's see. No. I actually don't remember why it was this. I don't remember it being this hard to find it on the other computer. Oh, it's right here. I don't know what I was thinking. Alright, let's take a look. No, it's somewhere here. Is it in here? Nope. there it is. Okay, so just basically wanted this so that I could get these fonts. It's cabin bold. Okay, that looks like the font that was used for... It looked like the font that was used for the text lists. What's this one then? That looks like a slightly, or quite a bit much more bolder version of the font. Italicized, so that should be pretty easy to identify. Okay, so let's have a closer look here. Oh, I've taken a wrong turn. Oh, there it goes. All right, what are you thinking? I don't see the other font actually at all. So maybe it's just that one font. Actually not too sure if I'm wanting to do this right now or wanting to do this another time. Well, let's do it. If I do it now, then at least I'll know if the video comes out and there's problems, and I can fix it later. Alright, so I'm going to create a new theme. I'm not really sure what to call this one at the moment. It is called ArtBook. I'll probably change the name at this point. This is a port of the theme, of the RetroPie theme. ArtBook by, and don't remember the guy's name now. I'm gonna be able to copy this. There it is. Okay. Let's start with the game view. Just the basic game view. Let's do it on, I'm guessing it's got to be a text list. Where's that text list? Text games view. All right. Edit that one. Really need like a picture reference, don't I? Let's do this one because it's always going to have a video. All right, so I got this nice tool here which will allow me to see what the background looks like. All C's. What does it matter whether I do a frame or a rectangle for the background? I wonder which one has a bigger impact to performance, or if there's even any impact at all. I'm gonna do rectangle for now. Rectangle's lighter? Okay, thanks. It's good to know. Let's paste that there. I wonder if there's a problem if I keep that hash in there, or the number sign. Let's find out. Oh, looks good. Awesome. Nope, it added a 0 at the end instead. I wonder if there's a way for that program to not... it won't let me see the menu. Okay. I'm sure I can adjust the program to not include that. So I'm gonna full screen that. I'll just save that out because I'm gonna be using this quite a bit, I would assume. Yeah. get rid of that. Okay. So I'm just gonna do a loose representation of this. I'm not gonna do it pixel for pixel here. Where is... Oops. 14s. So this would be the light gray background. And this one would be the text list background. I find that when I do this, and I'm not sure if you got the same thing, Dave, when I try to make it as large as possible, it always kind of doesn't quite get to 1080. It's like 1 pixel short. There it goes. Once I realize that, it's easy to adjust. Alright, so let's bring in an image. Let's bring a box art image here. Just because that seems to be the center focus of this theme. Box front. Okay, I went into Nintendo 64. I don't even know what theme, so apparently this version of LaunchBox that on this computer only has 5 systems. Let's do just the NES. There we go. Okay, and I definitely want to look at a game that I like. I'm going to be building it. Alright, Double Dragon 2. There's a nice one. Alright, so I'm going to assume that I want it centered. Let me think about this. No, I'd want it to the right. And then I'd want... Let's do the top. I was thinking left, but all of the text will be next to it on the right. So I kind of want it to always be in the same position no matter what. Far away from the actual content. Move this over here. Take a look. I'm not sure how big I should be getting this. I'm gonna center this out. Where's that center grid? Guide, I should say. Center guide. Am I like way off here? Alright, so let me just... Can't seem to find it. I'm gonna rename this box art while I'm here. Yeah, I'm just gonna use the align one. Middle, there it is. Perfect. Just look at this. I feel like it could get bigger, just like slightly. Like that. What do you think? Did I leave too much space? I almost feel like it can get bigger. Yeah. It's hard to tell, like this image is quite small, so it's compressed, so if you were to make this larger, let's say this high, let's say this low, which would mean that big. Now we're getting pretty big. I'm not even sure if I want it bigger. It's actually quite large at this point. I have completely lost the wheel, so let me bring it up here. This theme, if you notice, could only be accomplished because of this list alignment that you added. There's so many themes that are gonna love this. Yes, though, thank you very much for adding that. It makes Vertigo possible. I was thinking of adding that. That is definitely on the list. All right, so this is quite large font size. Let me start. Do you remember what the font was called? Let me think. 3? No, cabin. 2 bills have all been about Faeran. There's got to be other people, I would assume. I am. Yep, Neil. Neil's got to be asking for a whole bunch of stuff too. Checkbook. I don't remember getting this font. What does that look like? 10. Let me do 30. I must have got it for some reason. I noticed you keep track of who asked for what bill. That's so cool. Whoa. I didn't realize there was different size fonts of these, different style fonts of these. This is the font, the actual font that's within the Wii firmware or whatever. I think it's maybe this one. I exceeded my quota. Alright, I'm like completely just looking through fonts at this point. I haven't used this computer in so long that I don't even know what was on here. Wasn't it called Cabin? Am I not seeing it? Maybe I was wrong. Was it not called Cabin? Let's see. Now, oh yeah, it's still open here. Cabin. No, if I open it, what is it actually called? It's actually called Cabin. Cabin bold. Yeah, it's there. It completely was altered. I feel like I was the one that asked for that, wasn't it? But you know what? What's great is that the wish list or the text list is something that you can't do without a plugin, and so it's something that you can't even do with just XAML, and anything extra that could be added that helps, you know, people like me that don't know anything about how to build a plugin. It just makes things so much better. I'm gonna restart community and maybe it will pick this font up. What I really should do, I should add a link down here to it. Let's bring it back to the NES. And let's take a look at what's a good NES game. What's your favorite NES game, Guru? so many to choose from. I think I'm going to go, unless you have an option there. One of the Mega Mans. Mega Man 2 is the classic one that everybody remembers. Even I remember it. It's the one that I had. I think I played this game so many times. Oh, you never owned or played an NES? I think when I got my first NES, I feel like I was only 6. And my parents, I don't really think they could afford it. And so they bought it, and it came with Super Mario Brothers here in Canada, with the package together with the Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. And so it came with the gun, and we would just play Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt, and we had no other games for, I would say, quite a while. Although, who really knows? I was 6, so could have been months. And I don't remember them buying us any games. And it wasn't until, like, we would rent games, and we would borrow games from friends, but I don't think they ever had money to buy us any games. And then one of my cousins, I guess, at some point, and this must have been a long time after, they had a Nintendo, and like, our cousins were a lot older than us, so they grew out of it. They're probably in their 20s. They gave us like 5 games, and I just remember that was like getting a chest of gold. I can't remember all of the games. There was a Bump and Jump, City Connection, I think Arkanoid was one of them, and there were all these sort of arcade style games, and they were just, we played the heck out of them. All right, so cabin should be here. Perfect. All right. So I'm gonna make it a little bit larger. I'm pretty sure it was something like that. Let me just double check here. Or did I make it too large? Did I make it too large? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. How many are there? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I hate for it to actually be an even number, because then the center list plugin just picks one and it's not actually a true center. So I always want it to be an odd number of games listed here. I also noticed that the size is an estimate within the editor. And it's not until you bring it into the BigBox that it shows what BigBox's render of how many games are there, or the size of the text it really shows at that point. And it's slightly different. So I'm gonna go with maybe 32. Is that too small? I feel like that's too small. I'm pretty sure this goes up a bit. That's sort of the list. I'm just going to double check. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So I would get rid of one more if I would to keep that size. Let's take a look. Okay, so I am basically... I feel like I'm okay at this point. The other thing I'm noticing is that this needs to be flush. Oh, it's no... Oh, no, there it is. I just can't see it. The line there. And see how I can't actually get it against... You know what it probably is? I'm using a second monitor. That's probably why it's not quite going. It looks flush at this point. Let me just push it. No, it wasn't. All right, there we go. Okay, so now I feel like this is the only time that you would have to utilize XAML is with the preset. Do you feel like it's smart to alter a preset or to create a brand new preset? I'm guessing if I alter this preset, it will be altering it for every single other theme that's using this preset. Oh, you can't even modify the preset. Okay. So I would be a new one, and I'm guessing that it doesn't really matter what the title is, but I'm just going to go with text list style. Okay, you can't modify a preset. Alright, so text list style. Let's just save that. I'm just going to dump one of these. Let me dump one that I guess this one's the closest that I'd need. No, this one doesn't have the... That's what I noticed. This one doesn't actually have the extra styles to modify the background. Let me try number 3, I guess. You do need more presets. What do you think of the idea? And I'm not sure how much work this would do, because let's say there's certain things that you kind of would always want to do, and again, I know that there's lots of other cool stuff that you can do with these text lists, but let's say you would always want to have a color for the selected font. You'd want to have a color for the rest of the fonts or the selections. You'd want to have maybe a background that you can toggle on and off. You'd want to have a border that you can toggle on and off. And let's say that's about it. Like, those are the 4 things that people would want to have. Do you feel like that's something that could be added to the actual wheel properties instead of going into... Because if you do, let's say, those 4, that covers like pretty much, I would say, 80% of what people would want to do. Set a color for the font, set a color for the selected fonts, set a color for the background selected. I'm calling it font. Background selected item, and setting a color for... And this is completely coming from Neil, I'm gonna say, not me. So maybe he has some quota left over. Alright, so I'm gonna copy this. I could definitely tell, though, that if I was just starting off creating this theme, this would probably be the part I would struggle with the most. Okay. So, and so far you already have the foreground color already here. So like I could... would still say keep the user source there. Keep this this style source here, because but this could be more of an advanced technique. All right, I changed that. I probably shouldn't, and I'm guessing that it's white, but it could be off-white. Let me double check. Oh, it kind of looks off-white, doesn't it? Oh, which one is it? Oh, it's so thin. Oh wow. Okay. The bunch of shades. I don't know which one to take. Is there one that's more? Let's just guess. I want to take that one, but I can't seem to get to it. Oh, I'll just take that one. Okay, so it is a gray. Is that too gray? It's hard to tell when I have all those styles in the background. So let's see what I can get rid of. I can get rid of this entire effect. I can get rid of the selected, this linear. So I do want a border brush, but I don't want... Do I want a border brush? I don't even want a border brush. Is there a way I can just want the border to be nothing? So let's do nothing for the border. What's that? Wait, now I can't move the... Wasn't I just moving the up and down the... I just wanted to see what it would look like. I thought it would work. No. Okay, never mind. I gotta bring back a background. But what is the background color? So what do you mean by eggshell? Okay, so I'm bringing a background. Here it is. I'm gonna edit this one. So the background, so I'm looking at... I'm actually not... one thing that I wish I had was the ability to see when people come into the stream, when people leave the stream. I'm not... I don't actually see a way to do that here on the screens that I'm on. Nope. Oh, that's what the color of the text. Yeah. I don't know. It looks more gray at this point. Is that too gray? Maybe I don't want it to be that. Well, I'll find out. Okay, so if I'm looking at this and I'm remembering correctly, we got all the multi-triggers. What we want to affect is the item that it's currently on. So it's selected, but it's not been clicked on. You know what? Sneezes are now considered something lethal. I don't know when that trend is gonna go away, to tell you the truth. Maybe in 2021. We're not allowed to sneeze anymore in public or at work. That's gonna be the one thing I'm scared of the most. Being at work and just needing to sneeze but not being able to. Ugh. Maybe if you just take a lot of soap. Alright, so this is what's being displayed currently. This is the yellow. So this is the text element foreground. That color is yellow. What should it be? It should be nothing. So it doesn't actually have a change of color. So I'm assuming that Now I forget what the color was that I chose, so I would have to just get rid of this for now. Okay, so let's just save it. I'll just put the same color just so that I don't delete that line. Just in case I decide I want a color. Yeah, I might want to add a slightly lighter shade. That's true. I'm doing the same one, yeah. Yep, that's the right one. So, slightly lighter. That would be, let's say, C, so it would be D. Let's just do D0 across the board. Then, let's do the background now that I unsaved. Oh, did I unsave? I guess I didn't. It's just all threes anyway. Okay. Well, let's take a look. That looks good. It's quite thin. I mean, if I take a look at this, no, this is also quite thin, isn't it? This is thinner. I always find the default text box or default text list to be quite compressed. There's not a lot of room in between each one, so I almost have to manually change that. Something that I actually don't know, maybe you know, with your ability to change or scale the theme to different resolutions. Does that also take into account like padding of the theme? So if I go into here, for example, and I go, okay, I want padding, let's say, actually, let me look at this. If I want padding to be, say, not on the sides, but let's give 10 pixels top and bottom. Let's see what that looks like. Whoa, it's way too much. But will that scale appropriately, that padding, to other resolutions? Let's just start with 3. So this won't scale. So that's what I figured. I figured that this would not scale properly. But this does look actually a lot better. I like just that 3 on the top and bottom. I don't know if it's just my eyes. And I will... Yeah, it doesn't use your plugin converter. Well... And that's the best we got. Alright, so I needed to have the actual... let's start doing the rest of the elements here. So another image. This image is going to be the platform logo. So simple enough. I'll just make it centered. I will just add a metadata image of platform clear logo. Perfect. And I was not planning on doing that. Let's go back in. Make it centered. Oh, I really don't want it that wide. Let's make it... There we go. Let's bring it up a bit. Let's bring it up a bit here. Something like that. Is there a logo option? What's a logo option? Like another logo option here? Or am I looking in the wrong place? I go up here. Oh, you're talking about the wheel. Okay. That's true. Oh, yeah. Let me think about that. Let me think about that. Show logo. So I was actually going to use a different set of logos for this, but this should still pick up the it should still pick it, and it looks like it's scaling similarly to what I wanted. So yeah, let's use that. Get rid of that. Let's bring that up. Whoa, okay. Why did it just do that? Oh, okay. Okay, maybe I can't use it. I kind of want it to stay that scaled. Oh, it get bigger as I go down. I need an undo button. That's what I need. No, let's do this again. Okay, maybe I can't. I'm picky. This is the whole this is the whole part of the design. Sizes. And positionings. It's like 50% of this whole process. Okay, let's do image. Bring that back. Okay, let's make this a bit smaller. I can see I gotta do the alignment already. Okay, so let's do platform logo. And we're centering this stuff up. Actually, let's do alignment to the bottom. I don't think I'll really need it. Kind of want this to be smaller. A bit better. Yeah, so that's a good thing. I actually made on my other computer I don't know if I can get it from this computer. An already batch, like already what do you call it? I already configured them properly, named them all exactly what I needed, put them in one folder so I could just copy and paste them into this theme, and then I left them on the other computer. Can I go get them? I will. I'll go get them later. Okay, it's not as important. All right, other things that I need to do. I got to bring in the video, so let's bring in the video. As I get more and more elements, I kind of want to organize this. So let's organize it into the text box. Or let's call it text list. Text list, and I'm gonna bring over the logo, the wheel, and the text list background. At this point, that's its own thing. Mandatory. I do love this grouping. Yeah. I'm not really sure how you're gonna do parenting, or if you're going to replace. I guess you wouldn't replace grouping with parenting. You would be adding an extra sort of parenting option within the groups. And I can't wait for that. I can't wait for parenting. Just saying. Yes, I do want you to tell me how that will work. That would be awesome. While I adjust some of this a little bit. Ooh, now it's centered. There you go. Okay, so now I need a new group. what do I want in this group? I kind of want all of the information inside of this group. So that would include, well, everything on this column. That would include the selected item video. I kind of want it to stay, keep the aspect ratio. And let me just have a close look at what we got here. So he left a lot of space on this side and very little space on this side. Looks about right. This size video. I'm going to make it so the video stays, where is it? Oh, there's no alignment for this, is there? Okay, so I guess it's centered. All right, so let me read what you're writing here. So you add a parent, you add something and it's just called parent. Then you move and add elements to the parent. I'm assuming you'll click on something called parent or new parent or whatever, and then you'll name that parent whatever you want. You drag and drop elements that I already have here into that parent. So that parent container can you so imagine the selected item video is a parent. The right hand side would now show an icon on the right. Sure, yep. And it would be like parent. You would click on it. I would see its kid within this environment. Like let's say underneath here, it would open up. I'm assuming that parent, like that parent container, could be considered a number of things. Like it could be a stack panel. It could just be a grid. It could just be a view box, or could it be all of them? Oh, you already got all of them listed here, eh? A border, a grid. Can you put a parent within a parent? Okay, so then let's say something basic. So something basic would be, for me, I would put a border. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. I put a text. Say I put a text title of a game inside of a view box. And then I put that view box inside of a border. And then I put that border inside of a stack panel of many other items that are similar. That stack panel would contain, let's say, three or four borders, and inside of each border is a viewport or view box, and inside of a view box is some element that displays text. It'd be something like that. So it'd be like a simple something that I would do in like every theme somewhat. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so yep, text. So I would definitely put, it would be text in a border, but in this case it would be text inside of a view box. and I only put it inside of a view box so that I can control, well, you know, to control the size of the text, make sure that the text fits inside of the view box and gets smaller within its space proportionally, instead of having it what is it called, going to the next row. I don't even have text, so let me add text instead of it trimming, or instead of it doing that. So you would already put the view box within it. It would be an option. I was almost thinking that, because you already have here, so let's say I was like, not from a coding perspective, but let's say I was just wanting to use it for this purpose. So ViewBox is not great for a lot of things. It doesn't work well with the video. I tried it, it's not great. But I use it a lot for text, so that I don't have to have wrapping enabled. So it's like another option. It's like trimming, okay, there's a trimming option. Wrapping, there's a wrapping option. And then there's almost like another option that I use, and I use the view box so for that option. So I almost feel like you could add a third option here within just text. And I don't know what to call it, because it wouldn't really be called view box. It would be called something to do with the text sizing proportionally to the size of the box that you have. Yeah, scaling. There you go. It's like a text scale. And you would just have it here, and it would just be like a checkbox or something. Do you want to check? Do you want to have it scale? Auto scale. There you go. And that would be great. I think from just a user perspective, this is where it would need to go, right under here, sort of grouped with the other options that also change. And then I know that you could still apply trimming and wrapping, but once you do the view box, the trimming and wrapping does nothing. So almost could be grayed out at that point, even though it can technically be on there. All right, so I added a text. Why did I add text? Let's find out. What do you think? I kind of don't like that there's no title here. I think I'm gonna add a title. I think he probably thought that it would be a little redundant since the title's listed here, but it just sort of seems incomplete to me. Well, I'll also use cabin again. Let's bring this up. We'll just see how that looks. Alignment to the left, I will have normal here. I am definitely going to take advantage, if I can find it. Alignment centered. No, I'll do the bottom. I'm going to take advantage of can you see it? Is it like too small? Oh no, or is it just a bad color? What do you think? I will make it black or gray. Let's make it gray, see how it looks. Some stuff's black. Oh, I see why. I didn't actually choose anything here. What am I missing here? What did I add? Okay, metadata. Added a game. Here it is. Yeah, the view box is infinite. So I'm gonna do all uppercase. We'll see how that looks. I'm guessing the bold doesn't actually do anything because this is already a bold font. And I don't have another style font. 30. What does 30 look like? Looks kind of small. 235. Still looks small. Kind of wanted it to be close to the top here, which means I don't leave room. That's the problem with this sort of thing and using a wrap. I either align it to the top for one row. Actually, no, I don't either. Or I can do this, add it to the bottom, and then leave like this giant space under it. And then maybe I just don't want to do any of that. Maybe I just want it to be there. I only allow it to go as far as, yeah, I'll just leave it out there. Which means, do I put it at the bottom? Do I put it at the top? It's not really much of a difference. I don't really like the gray. We'll see. See how it looks in the end. Okay, what's the next piece? Alright, the next piece would be this sort of community rating. And of course, I didn't bring over any of my files. Maybe I already have some of them here. Let's find out. If I go into themes, what themes do I have? Oh, I got a bunch of cover box themes. They look like the old ones. Which one would be, is that gray? So I would need like a white one. Or a black one. A white one or a black one? Which one looks better when I fade it out? Or is it virtually... I wouldn't have to be black. And black comes with the master system. What do I got here? I've got in icons. There they are. Okay, so let me drag this one over to... This would be under rating, right? Game rating? Or is that embedded inside of image at this point? I think it is. Community rating. There you go. Let me browse the folder. I guess I need to make a copy of it. Okay, so inside of here, I'm just double checking. I've got every single image that I created in Photoshop a long time ago. All the way up to 5 stars. Going down one at a time. Cool. Use the star rating. There it is. Where's the opacity? Here it is. Let's do 50%, see what it looks like. Maybe too much? Actually, no, maybe not. That look about right? Looks too big to me. Yeah, it is too big. What do you think? So far, so good. Kind of think that this part's a little basic, but yeah. So we got last played. So what can LaunchBox not do? It can do release. It could do some sort of option of players. It can do genre. Can it do last played? Do we have that ability? And do we want that? Do I want that? Or do I want to replace that with, like, which one do you like better? Do you like developer or publisher? Do you want to know who publishes it? Or do you want to know who develops it? Sometimes they're the same. Alright, so this is what we're allowed to do. Game developer, game notes, game platform, game rating, game series, game source. I'm assuming that's the file. Game status. What's game status? Okay, it's a status of some kind. Game version. Yep, so I know that field. Love how known platform or playlist title brings up nothing, even though it should probably bring up the known platform. It should know what platform it is, right? Because isn't that like a built-in binding? Oh, did Jason change the binding to something else? New binding values. Ah, I see. Oh, look at my application path. Wait, application path or game path? I guess that's the game ROM path. Ah, old for BigBox, new for the creator. Okay, so I think I'll do publisher. Let me switch this back to... Wait, what's title? Oh, it's also nothing. The game... Let's create a new one. So I'll need a bunch of text, actually. So I'll do publisher. What is this image? This is the community star rating. And then the publisher I will make also cabin. I guess I can just copy that and then paste it over here. What can I paste? The foreground. Paste the text. Paste. Appearance? Does that do anything? Maybe not. Alright, but that's good enough. I'll switch that to, I just want a constant value actually. Publisher. I think that's what I need. Let's look back at this. Yeah, it just needs to be smaller. Let me bring that to 25. Bring that up here. Something like that. Is this centered? I want it to be centered. So here's something that I always found, like I'm not sure if you could implement this. Alignment to a bunch of items. So let's say I create a bunch of these. I'm sure you know where I'm getting at here. How many do I need? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, multi-selection. I'm assuming multi-selection will come with the parenting somewhat. Although it would be nice to do multi-selection on a whole group, like outside of the whole parenting thing. Like, let's say I decided that I finish this whole theme and I go, okay, that box, like this whole area right here, I'm using my hand, that's weird. This whole area right here, I wanted it to be more centered, so I want to move it to the right a bunch until it's centered. I would have to move the box art and like all the elements one at a time, and I wouldn't be parenting all of these in one. Although, would that be a problem if I parented all of them in one? I feel like that would be a problem. So like a group movement would definitely help in that sense. But what I was actually talking about was I have all of these, you know, I'll name them so it makes more sense here. What was the second option here? It was the release date, released. The third one was, I believe, players. And the last one, just so that I know, is genre. Okay, so now I've got these 4, and I want them to be distributed evenly. Let's say the same pixel length apart from each other. What would the best way to do that be? Well, I guess right now, to be able to like select these 4 and then kind of say I want to distribute them evenly, and then they, if that makes sense, they just like go the same exact pixel length apart from each other. Now, right now, the only option I feel like I have, correct me if I'm wrong here. Oop, I should have pressed enter. Is to sort of match them up somehow with each other one at a time. Like, okay, so here I know that it's the exact, this one's a little easier because they're all the same height. You can use math, I guess, and then do it within each of these layout options. The best way I know how to do it right now is to just be like, okay, how far apart do I want them? Well, I want them 5, so I just gotta see it. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is why I really wish that cursor thing worked. 5. Okay, 5 looks good. So then I gotta bring this back up to there and then just do 5 down, and I could do it here if I wanted to. That's 3, and then it's 8. Could position that again. Okay, why is it not? Okay, I see what I'm doing. Oh, 5. Yeah, and this one's a fairly simple example, I would say. Oh, that's not too bad. But you should have saw me with Bannerbox. It was some mess. what I had to do. Oh. Especially with the genre and then the icon and then the... I basically had to move, let's see, 3 per icon. Then there's 4 different icons. So that's 12. I had to try to match 12 different elements together and try to align them together. It took like an hour. Yeah, that's part of the that's part of what this stream is supposed to be, right? Complain to the developer. All right, so I feel like I'm almost done this. So let's start doing the actual information part. Publisher. So I got my publisher. Let's copy that. Let's paste it. Let's paste the layout. Let's paste the foreground, and like I'll actually just paste the text and that sort of thing. All right, we're switching the metadata to the actual game. Okay, to the publisher. Perfect. I think it's all uppercase, and I feel like he either did black or something very close to black. Like that. And then we'll just move it over here somewhere. Like that. Going to the end of the video. What do you think? Is that too much? Well, let's find out what he actually did. 15 across the board. This is the publisher metadata. What did I do? I did 12. Oh, he actually went darker. Darker? No, he went lighter. That doesn't look too bad. Is it that far apart? I feel like it's only that far apart because of about this. I feel like the alignment's not the same. Yeah. Okay, there we go. I missed that one. Okay, so at this point, I'm just going to paste a number of these. Should be able to align them up with each other and just change the release date. So oh wait, is the release date not in this one? Is there a different release date? Oh, there is a last play date. Oh, that's funny. Okay, release date. I'm assuming you left all of these out because of all the extra options that they come with of the regular text one. Alright, so this one is the release date. What can I paste in here? So can I paste the foreground, paste the alignment, paste the appearance. Okay, so, oh, you know what? Can I not paste the text? Okay. I'll just have to do it myself. So let me do cabin. And what did I say the color was? Oh, the color's already there, so we're good. Oh. Scroll wheeled the font to something else. I can't remember what I did. 25? 25. And I'm going to have to paste the layout, I think. Just to get the same size. Put it here, and then I'll figure out what do I actually want this to be. Okay, where are the options? Format. I mean, the easy one would be this. And why can I not see it now? What am I missing? Am I missing? Can you see if I'm missing something? I feel like I'm missing something. Don't need those. I always feel like I'm missing something here. I'm allowed to put a fallback value? I don't see the fallback field in this one. This one I guess will go here. Okay, so I'm going back to release date. Oh, there, fallback value. So I need to have a fallback value before anything will be shown. Is that right? Year. Oh, or maybe you're saying that the it's not showing the release date. Ah, you know what I noticed? That even though that LaunchBox has a release date, the editor may not see it. I'm not entirely sure why, but you're right. I'll just put unknown. It's one word. And I'll just... Oh, I should have done all capital. Let's see, I'm sure that some of these will get picked up. Yeah. Oh, what did I just change to from one of the Mega Mans? Yeah, so 1993. The Mega Man 2, which should have it. Let's just double check. Wow, this version's on 8.9. Ugh. Okay, Mega Man. So yeah, there is a release date there. I wonder if it's just not parsed properly. So let's say 6 is parsed properly. They look the same. Actually go into it. There it is. So if I just change the date. What about now? Oh. That's a little odd, eh? Oh well, I guess I'm gonna choose one that actually has a date so I can see the formatting. Let's choose Mega Man 6. Okay, so I know that I mean, I wouldn't mind choosing something like this, but it doesn't utilize your uppercase thing, so I need it to be uppercase, I guess. Let me... Oh wow, the publisher the publisher of Mega Man 6 was Nintendo. Guess Capcom paid Nintendo to do all the work. What does all this stuff look like? Okay, so this is 1105. I think that's what he had. Oh, but he had it had like this one. Something like this. The month? Day? I can't even tell. I think he chose something that has both single digit numbers, which I always found the problem being with this kind of format. You just never know. Oh, let's just go with this. This one looks good. Although I've never really been one to need to know the exact day a game is released. The year is good, nostalgic enough, I feel. Or maybe the month. Just to get a little more context. But there you have it. So for genre, I'm assuming it's this one. Let's choose that. Oh. Genre, metadata, and as I say all that, I realized, okay, the reason I can't choose that is I can't make May capital. So let me just I'll choose year. It's the cleanest, I feel. And I'm left with release. I don't know why release is down here. Oh, I know why. Oh. There we go. And we got one more, which is players, which I believe is embedded in text. Is it embedded in text? No, it's not. Okay, so let me take, I don't know. Let's copy release date, paste it on here. The layout, how much can I paste on this thing? The color, the alignment, the appearance, which I don't think there is an appearance on this. And let's do cabin. Fallback. Fallback would be unknown. Yeah, I'll just do unknown. Wasn't I supposed to do that for the release date? Capitalize unknown. Alright, so I did cabin and I believe it's 25. And we will just move this down here. There you go. It's not bad, right? Now I got a space there. I'm assuming that spaces will be used for here. Oh, this is something for Jason. Did we mention this to Jason? The ability, let's say, to have bindings for specific actions that you can do. For example, we want to bind what is the button that, let's say, a user uses to go into the details or to go into the, or to launch the game. So here you can see launch is this button or whatever, you know, and that's going to be different on everybody's platform. So if he was allowed us to bind the keybind value of playing the game, then we can bring up that value, let's say in text, and then use that, maybe an image, or we didn't ask that, did we? Because that would be awesome, right? Because then we could actually place elements in our big box that relate to everybody's version of what they've bound without us needing to worry. Because a lot of themes just will take the Xbox buttons, which is great for people who have Xboxes, but doesn't really make sense if you... It's a good question. Is it stored somewhere that you could read it? And I wouldn't know. Let's say for me to find that out would be a mess, I think. Where is the settings stored? Data? Settings? Ooh, you're going to be working on a XML parser? Awesome. There'll be a controller buttons, but where's the keybinds? What would the keybind be called? Was there just a keybind area? Nope. Is there something called play? Show details. Video playback. Never gonna find it. Yeah, I guess you can get all of these things in here. It'll play music. Is it in the... I mean, it is in the settings. So it's got to be stored somewhere. I think it's just called launch. What do you... Minimize on game launch. Show LaunchBox splash screen. Okay. So could potentially be in here, could not. What is all this? I don't know. Okay. Platforms, parents, emulators, big box settings. Okay, so I just chose the wrong settings. Show, okay. So keyboard selection and controller selection. There it is. That's great. The only problem is I don't... That's going to be really tough, right? Isn't not all controllers the same number? Oh, but that wouldn't matter. Oh, let's think. How would we display the information? Controller. So the controller play button, let's say mine looks like number 3. So we would have a value of 3, and then I have no idea what that value means. It also doesn't mean anything to the user. Unless we find out, let's say, you would have to get profiles for like all the main controllers. Like maybe there's an Xbox One, maybe there's what else do people use? A PlayStation? Now we're getting really, really complicated. Yeah, definitely don't do that. Ah, well. Okay, so I think the last step is to add this, and I'm not gonna do this. I'm also not gonna do this. I could put something else here. Yeah, there's the 8-bit do. I do have one somewhere. But the one I got an 8-bit do controller a very long time ago when before they did all of they became really popular. So their first or second wave of controllers, and I got the NES Pro controller. Let's take a look. The 8-bit do NES 30 Pro, which no longer exists. They don't sell it anymore. So yeah, I got this controller, and it looked like exactly what I would want. A Bluetooth controller that had all the buttons. The only thing it didn't have was like an analog button in the top, which was fine. I knew that. It had these analog buttons. It could basically play almost anything. And the problem is, I don't know if you notice, especially on these guys' hands, it's very tiny. Like, it is not a comfortable controller. It almost looks like a baby controller in these guys' hands. This hand looks a little better. I'm guessing her hands are very small. And so it was just very hard to play with it. Also, this analog stick, when I got it, it was sticking in one of these sides. It kept sticking, and there's apparently a known problem with them, and you had to open up the controller and make it a little looser, which made it so that it wouldn't stick as much. But I mean, other than that, the controller was okay. The real problem was its size. It just wasn't comfortable at all to use properly. And then I know that the buttons were different than like an Xbox button controller scheme. So if you mapped this to BigBox, then you wouldn't be able to use, I wouldn't be able to use my Xbox controller. And if I mapped the Xbox controller, I wouldn't be able to use this controller. So it was sort of a mess, and that was just because there is no good controller profile system within BigBox. Like, there's a really amazing controller profile system. It's what I like about a RetroArch. Is it called RetroArch? RetroArch. I don't know. RetroArch. Is that they have this amazing controller profile system. Yeah, it's an ARCH, so to me that's Arch. But it could be Arc, I don't know. Depends on, I guess, where you're from in the world. Or whatever they wanted to call it themselves, I'm not really sure. So if, I don't know if Jason ever wants to create a controller profile system, so then you can use all of your different controllers and it would identify which one it is and be able to bring up that controller's buttons that you selected, or that type of controller's buttons you selected. That's, I think, is what is missing in BigBox. You don't see it much if all you have is just one type of controller, or you set it up for an arcade unit. It's always going to have the same controls, and you go. But if you're going to use it for this type of system, where my dream system was being able to actually get a controller for each of the different systems in, like, the history of controllers. So you'd have a Genesis controller, and you would have, a Sega Master System controller and all that stuff, and you would use the controller for that particular system, whatever you wanted to play. And then I realized, okay, well, BigBox wouldn't let me do that, even if I wanted, just a selection of 3 or 4 controllers. Maybe you need a Nintendo 64 controller because that's a unique one. You would have to have a separate controller just to control BigBox, or you would choose a primary one. And what I've always done is, let's say I do a setup, and then I have a bunch of, let's say, nieces and nephews to come over. If they can figure it out, then I know that the setup is okay. But if they're really confused by what's going on, then you know, it's probably not worth it. Because then I would forget how I set it up. Alright, so anyway. That's why I don't use this. If I want to summarize this. Yeah, that's not why. I don't want to use that because it's just too small. Okay, so let's go back into the theme. Where we got? Nice. And we got one more element to go. Let's take a look. It is the text scroller. All right. I'm gonna get rid of the background. Let's bring it up here-ish. Go to here. Nice. All right. I think we're okay, so let's... I don't know why I'm doing that. Let's paste some of this stuff here. What can I paste? Wait, I can't remember what color. What color is it here? One of these pictures. It's the same. Does that look like the same color as... Oh, see, there's all these different colors. I'm not sure which one he actually chose, but it looks similar to, let's say, these colors. So let's just do that. I'm gonna go with 20. We're gonna switch to cabin. And we're going to paste the foreground, I guess. Something like that. Can you see if there's a line? I thought I remember thinking that there was a line somewhere, but there's not. Okay, so now that I see it all together, what do you think? There's our theme. Definitely missing some here. It needed something right there, or I bring this down. I don't know, what could I put there on the text list? Hey, Neil. Are you clipping the bottom of the scroller? Do I need to clip the bottom of the scroller? The controller image, Is that an option? Text scroller. Oh, does this work? Ah, interesting. Does that look cleaner? Or does that just look annoying? Wait, should this have uppercase? No, it shouldn't. No. And you know what? I'm just noticing that this doesn't have uppercase either. Wow. I'm not that observant, am I? Let's see what it looks like without it. Which means I could bring this back. I could bring back the one that I sort of liked, this one. And the publisher could get and the genre, which I never actually changed the genre. Oops. This one. Well, let's change that to game genre. Oh, is this one of the ones that's also separate? Yeah. Let's copy this. Copy the layout, paste the layout. Paste the foreground. Paste the alignment. I think that's all I can paste. I do appearance, but I don't think it does anything. So we're gonna move that down to where this was supposed to be. Let's delete that. We're gonna go to the cabin again. I believe it was 25. I think we could do 2. Do you think we should have 3? I don't think 3 would fit if it's long. Maybe 2? How many genres can a game be, really? I feel like you're really stretching it if you're putting too many genres on there. It's got to be a main genre. Let's save that. Okay. So controller. I feel like I could. Or just to have like an image there in place of the controller. The problem that I have is... Actually, this theme does come with a set of controller images I would have to organize to make work, but I could do that later. Maybe that's what I'll do. What else is here? So but other than that, I think it's done. I think it's ready to see what it looks like within BigBox itself. Oh. Wow. Thank you for following. That is my follow alert, apparently. I thought my music was going funky there for a second, but okay. So let's boot it up. Take a look what it looks like. Actually, it's not going to look like anything because I haven't updated this LaunchBox version yet. Oh, well. There you go, Dave. Thanks for that alert. There's like 6 alerts that I set up, and that was just the one for follow. So the one for the subscription is like really long. I think it's 30 seconds long. I have a feeling that I'd want to reduce that in the future. All right, it is loading up, right? Or did it just do the install? I'll click it again. Gotta be coming. Is it broken? It is broken. All right, one more time. It just had to happen on stream, didn't it? Did it just break by updating it? Can't be taking that long to load up. All right, let's try to open LaunchBox. Yeah, that's fine. That's interesting. I don't get this issue when I'm on my old desktop, or my new desktop. This is actually my old desktop that I don't really use anymore. It just happens to be in a good place to stream. You always make sure it loads and that it's not version 8.9. Maybe it won't load because it needs to load LaunchBox first. I think I remember Jason saying something like that. If you update from an old version, LaunchBox needs to run to make some changes for BigBox to work. Because BigBox doesn't have those configuration changes upon startup. That could just be in my mind. I kind of remember something like that, but I don't remember where I heard it. But I can test that theory. Wait, where did it go? Did I close it? Did it just bug out again? Really, 2 to 3 times? See, I don't really have that option or that problem on my normal computer, so just make sure it loads. So that was a lot faster this time. So I guess it was doing some sort of configuration change. I don't need to see this box anymore. Let's take a look. BigBox. Showing up this time anyway, so that's good. So I guess in Europe, the consoles weren't such a big deal, was it? And I guess like micro PCs and all those type of things were all the rage back in the day. Like the ZX Spectrum. Whoa! Okay, that is loud, right? Okay, that is definitely loud. So consoles were popular, but both were popular because yeah, the micro PC was not a thing in Canada at all. I had never heard of the ZX Spectrum or any of the micro consoles until I started doing this stuff. Let me turn this down. A little overpowering. All right. To something like 10. See how it goes. All right. switching to the new theme. That can't be 10%, is it 10%? Okay, so I don't have... There you go. 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. So that's good. I feel like it just needs to be... I feel like... where is it? I closed it, didn't I? Here's where all the fine-tuning comes. I think all the stuff on this side is fine. And that we just need to adjust the text list a little bit, but not really that much. I'd like it to be down more. Maybe there, and then we'd want it a bit smaller, like that much smaller. Let's see how that looks. I'll just guesswork at this point. Oop. So 2, 4, yeah. How's that look? Let's do something crazy. For all these transitions for the main video. Oh, I really don't like that. The sounds. I don't think I have any other sounds though. All right. Did I break it? What does sequential mean? I think it's just gonna like go through all the different options. That's kind of funky. What do you think of that one? The what's your guys' favorite transition that you use? Do you add fade? Do you turn it off? Rotate vertical box. Fade. This slide vertical seems interesting. Let me just see if it's true. That was 100% not... Okay, did I not save that? It's doing the same thing. Did I choose the wrong one? I did choose the wrong one. Okay, sliding vertical. The main image, which doesn't do anything, I don't think, because we don't have a main image. Okay, here we go. Yeah. So if I... That seems backwards to me, but... I thought it'd be the other way around. So what I wanted was, if I go down, then it's going to do the downward. It kind of does the downward one depending on how you're looking at it. And if I go up, it goes the opposite. Yeah, I think this was a success. At least the main image. I'll have to go back and I feel like this is still too loud. It could be wrong. You guys think that this is too loud, or can you hear me over the big box? It's a bit better for my ears anyway. So I'll have to go back and add the images. I do want to change, I have the platform images, which I think I'll have to do before building this, the platform view. And then I need to go and build all of the other views that are specific to platforms, like this horizontal view. Oh, this can't take that long, right? I would just move. I could do that in no time. Got the Super Nintendo. The problem is I don't have all the systems here, so I can't do all of them, but maybe this is enough. I really don't want to see the Three Ninjas. Do you guys have a favorite Super Nintendo game? There's so many. Are you asking me what is SNES? The Secret of Mana. Star Fox. Star Fox is a great game. That's one I actually owned back in the day. Actually, the Super Nintendo, I feel like was my system, was the system I was old enough to appreciate. I had one when I was sort of an old enough age to appreciate it, but not too old. And I had a whole bunch of games for this too. Star Fox was definitely one of them, and we played it quite a lot, me and my brother. To the point, the only story I have about Star Fox, when yeah, Mario All-Stars was a great one. I think Mario All-Stars here, at least in Canada, they initially never sold it. So what you had to do, there was like some... Nintendo was giving it away for free or something like that. And somehow we found out about it, and you had to provide a receipt or something that you owned a Super Nintendo. Can't really remember the details, but we just sent something to Nintendo and then they sent us Super Mario All-Stars, like, in the mail. And then with Star Fox, so we have a theme park here called Canada's Wonderland, and I must have been, I don't know, 10 maybe, and I used to go to Wonderland all the time, every summer, and Nintendo had a booth there all summer long where they were marketing, I guess, the release of Star Fox. And we went, you would go there, and the booth it wouldn't be a booth, you would like enter into like a big mobile building, and inside there was maybe 10 or 20 different like Star Fox consoles playing, and you would go up to one, and you would have 2 to 3 minutes or something to play, maybe 5 minutes, I'm not sure. It's enough for you to get through the first level. And I can't remember if it was like a tournament or something, everyone's playing at the same time, and you were going through this first level, and I was like, I had it at home, so I knew exactly what to do, and I made it as far as beating this first level boss, and then the game would end. That's just something that always stuck with me. I'm not sure what Nintendo was. I'm guessing it was an advertisement campaign of some kind. Anyway, so let's take a look. I said I could do this quickly. Let's see if that's true. All right, so we're looking at this one. The box is behind. Wait, what is that? Oh, okay, nothing. Wait a second. Does the video have a border? Oh no. What am I doing? I did this wrong, didn't I? Okay, so I'm copying this into the Super Nintendo one. Yeah, it has the same rectangle. I'm guessing. I mean, that is one way that you could do it. Or it has a border around it. The problem is, if the size of the video changed, the border and the rectangle would not change with it. That would be a correct statement to say at the moment. I'm assuming parenting could fix that. Think about that. Is there a way to make a... I haven't really looked at all the different video options here. Okay, so I mean, if the top left is always the same position, then parenting... Actually, basically you want to have, let's say, a rectangle or a like border. So let me do the border theory here. So not a border. I don't want a border. I do want a rectangle. Let me write a rectangle. The rectangle has to be the same color as the background, which of course is the easiest way. It's C. Maybe I should not do that yet. So the layout would be the same. Copy and paste. Oh, I did that backwards. That's amazing. I'm Is there an undo? Can I press Control Z or something? Alright, let's do that again. Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay, rectangle, color. Let's do this not backwards this time. Selected item video. I'm copying this and I'm pasting it on the rectangle layout. Okay, perfect. Now, put that behind it. And I want it to be smaller by the same amount. This would be easy if the cursors worked. So I'm going to say 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that's not right. What am I doing? Did I miss? Like, why is there a border on this one, but there's no border on any of the other ones? Is there no border on the other one? No, I just missed the border. Do we really need a border? Let's not do border. I'm fine the way that it is. and so I'm just going to discard this whole thing. That border will just complicate things in the future. So, instead of the border, what are we looking at? The box art. The box needs to be... Where did I put the box? Down here. Randomly in its own element. Right? That looks good. I'm using I'm using the box here to determine okay, maybe a bit smaller. Something like that. To me though, I like that better. I also really don't want to see the 3 ninjas again. I had this game when I was a kid. Let's do that. Okay, so because I added the title, this is going to be a little bit... You know what I didn't do? I didn't add some sort of wrap. No, I didn't want to wrap. I guess it would just be this. Would even be smaller at this point. Something like that. This is where moving like all this stuff would have come in handy. I'm not really sure how far apart these are. I'll just have to eyeball it. Unless I knew, okay, so maybe I can do this with math. So X, we're at 717. I move this. We're now at 844. So if I bring up a calculator and 844 minus 717, we got 127 that I moved it pixels over. So if I'm looking at this one, I want to move it 127 pixels. At this point, 127, 887 plus 127, 1014. There you go. Ooh. My hands are not that sturdy. Almost. Let's just use the keyboard. Okay. There we go. Sweet. Okay, one more. This going here. something like that. Let's take a look. Actually a lot lower, interestingly enough. Yeah, white space is always good. That's interesting that mine goes way past that. I think it's only because they only do one genre. I think that makes a difference. Do you guys feel like everything needs to stop at the exact place that the video stop? Like this. The title turns into pretty much nothing. Although I do have space to have 2 rows, move everything down, and just have it. I think in this circumstance, it would be a lot better to do that. Of course, now I have the problem. I can't remember how far apart these are. I think it's 5. 3, 4, 5. Yeah. I would have this something like this. I would put this okay, it's wrap. What's the difference between wrap and wrap with overflow? I almost need 3. I almost think that that would be better. That. Let's bring this down to about here. All right, I think I'm gonna position all of these first. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do this one. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Three, 4, 5. I think we're okay. Other one should be okay. Ooh, not quite. Oh. That's better. At least 2 rows you can see something. This one, I almost feel like I need to reduce this to 1. Just to have it fit. You know what I didn't do? I did not adjust the note scroll speed. So, oh, there's one you can have a slider for. So one thing I noticed is that the lower the number, the faster the scroll speed is. And it's like needs to be really low. Like, this is a delay setting. The scroll speed that you have attached to this. Ah, okay. So 100 would mean like what, 100 seconds? Or just some sort of number that translates into something. Then I think this needs to be something like maybe 9 or 7. 7 or 9. Try 7. I mean, I'll have to check that later. Let's edit this one as well. We'll do the same thing. Wait, am I on the default? Yeah, I am on the default one. What am I doing? So this one also needs to be about 7, let's say. That should work, right? Super Nintendo now looks like this. At this point, I believe, should turn off the transition. All right. It's not bad, right? I almost feel like I need to get rid of the entire transition. All right, so let's take a look. I had a friend that had this game. It does not look the same that I remember. Is that really the game? Wait. Look at the I have no cursor. Look at the description. Go. Does Okay, so we're waiting. There goes the description, and it is really crawling there. So let's change that setting and see what we get. So I'm going to lower that setting to 1, like you just told me. Again. And we're publishing it. Let's see what it looks like. Could it go under 1 though? It could be like point something. So it's actually changing the speed of the yeah, and even that is kind of slow. You could do let's do 0.5. No, 1 is the lowest. I feel like you should be able to do that, no? Just an integer, eh? Okay, then 1 is the lowest. Just to make sure that I actually did publish it. Yeah, because I think it can be faster. Or you're saying that that's just for the delay. Maybe you should bring in some of the other properties. You've got the delay start, you got the delay end, and the scroll speed. I think there's another one. Oh, the how fast it goes back, the scroll to the top, yeah. There you go. I apparently don't have a box for this. But yeah, that looks really nice. Let's look at some of the other games systems that I have. And Marble Madness was one of my games back in the day. This was the best when you had friends. You could basically have tournaments trying to make it to the end. I think I'm not going to do the border. Oh man. What's Mark Cerny? Actually didn't really play the Sega Master System when it came out. I had a cousin that had it. He's the PlayStation architect? Okay. Do any of you guys have a Sega Master System? Wow. PS4, PS5. I had a cousin that had the Sega Master System, and I went over to their house one time and played it. And he played a game, and the game was similar to what I played on the Nintendo, which was the Adventure Island. So I loved Adventure Island, especially Adventure Island 2. And we were playing a game exactly like that, and I thought for the longest time that I was playing Adventure Island on the Sega Master System. But it turns out, after searching the Sega Master System, it was Wonder Boy. I was playing this game when I was a kid at my cousin's house. Because this game's exactly like Adventure Island. Or is Adventure Island exactly like this game? Let's find out. Wonder Boy was released on March 22nd, 1987. 1987. And Adventure Island came out. Of course, it's got H in front of it in this version. 1988. Ooh, so Wonder Boy came out first. Although, do any of these versions have arcade? Are these ports on another system? So I wonder, is Adventure Island a copy, a port, or a copy of Wonder Boy, or is Wonder Boy a copy of Adventure Island? Look at how similar it is. It's got the eggs, the hammer, the monsters are the same, the setting is the same, the rocks are the same. This guy gets a skateboard there, which is the same as Adventure Island. Wow. I don't think you can get away with that these days, having it so similar. Alright, so let's keep going. Sega Genesis should be fine. I did have a Super Nintendo and I had a Sega Genesis. I think the marketing campaign for the Sega Genesis was definitely one of the better ones. It made, as a kid, it made you really want to get one. And of course, I had no money. So it came with, at that time, it came with Sonic 2. All I had was Sonic 2. I played this game a lot. And how many Sonic 2 covers do I have? I guess, oh. That's the one I remember. You sent me a new creator build. I don't even know if I can get it on this computer. Let's see. This one? I'm guessing that I would have to open Discord. I don't have Discord on this computer. Let's see. Let's see if Discord works. Oh, it does. Guess we gotta close it, and I will load it up and see what am I looking for. Make sure here we're good. Ooh. You think you nabbed some sort of bugs? All right, let's take a look. Talking about Adventure Island. Okay, so here's the video. Ooh. Let's make it bigger. That does seem better. Sweet. That is awesome. Let's try this one. We were having problems with these. Nice. Ooh. Look at that. So if I for example, do this, what does it do when I get bigger? So that's so cool. Okay, that's good. That's gonna help. Nice. I like those controls. They are working. How does it work with the text box now? Sweet. It won't let me. Won't let me rotate the text box. That's funny. Not that it really should be. Although I do have somewhat of a theme where I do rotate the text box. I think inside of cover box. Cool. It's working. That's awesome. Awesome. All right, let's not save that. All right, so the last thing I'm gonna do today is probably do the platform. So let's take a look at what the platform should look like. I'm looking for this one. Get rid of these. The platform should look like, so these two. Let's do this one first. Very simple. No, let's do it first. Yeah, so this, I'm almost feeling like I should just do this. Let's just make it full screen. Now, what I don't know is all the positioning. And you know what? I just opened up the wrong... No, I didn't. This should work. Horizontal, and I would need to do clear logos. All right, let's just see what that looks like. Get some context behind this. Oh, can I just use an assist? All right, let's see. I mean, that that did change this. But I don't know exactly what it changed it to. Well, let's see what I got. Just the default one. Refresh it. You know what? I'm gonna have to close this, aren't I? I hope it reopens. Do I see it? I think it had to close because I didn't have a theme, a view before, so BigBox didn't realize that it could switch to it. No? That's the only reason I could think of. Oh, okay, it's coming. Yeah, that's what I thought. Whoa, okay. Yeah. So everything is a little too big, a little bit too close to each other. Okay, so now that we know that, I did use this assist. So let's see what that gives me. Now I should be able to. Does anybody know a different way? If I go into it and I come out. No, I think. Yeah. Publish is awesome. That I can work like this. I have to go into options. Because I only have one view. Yeah, you go, right? You go into the options and that refreshes the platform. Possibly if you had more than one platform, which I do actually, can't I? I can do that. I don't know if that works. Does that work? Let's make a change and see if that works. So I know that at this point, the selected is too small, but actually almost both are too small. How did he get this? So I'll worry about that later. This is centered, right? And then they just need to be further apart from each other. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so selected Z position of the item would be, let's do 2.5, and then let's do, it's 0.2 right now, so let's do 0.5. How do I make them further apart? So 2.8, I'm assuming higher is further apart from each other, so I'm guessing 3.5. Well, let's see how that works. Alright, so I'm changing the view. That did work, right? This looks different. Awesome. Feel like we're still not big enough on both, and we still need to space out more. Well, let's take a look. So we still need to make this bigger, so let's put it at 0.7. No, 0.7. Let's put this one at 2. I'll just do 2.8. Yeah, not 28. And then we'll space it all the way to 4 and see how that looks. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, not bad. It's interesting that you can't control, let's say, how tall something is within a wheel. You can't change the grid, the invisible grid around the selected item. I'm assuming that it's always like a box, like a exact square. See, that might not be true. This one does seem like the largest one. So at this point, I have on the image dimensions, well, let's say, yeah, control of the selected item, for example. What I found when I was building the Radiant theme was that the selected item always had an exact grid that it was inside. Again, it was an invisible grid. And so, depending on whether the box was horizontal, the horizontal boxes would hit the grid, the invisible grid on the left and right, and the vertical boxes would hit the invisible grid on the top and bottom. And I had determined the exact size of that grid for that theme so that I could overlay a border on top of the box and have that overlay be the exact same size as a horizontal or a vertical box, and have it work properly. And we have no control over that, right? We can't control, say, make the height of that selected item smaller but keep the width the same. And that's something that I think could be looked at. I also, yeah, the images have to be the same dimensions because we're basically just changing the size, the spacing in between, I don't know, this grid, this invisible grid. I guess I don't know exactly what he does, if he's just putting like another grid on in between the images. No, he wouldn't be doing that. There'd be some sort of calculation on the spacing, because it would be cool to say, and I know other people have said this, to be able to determine, instead of affecting an actual spacing, you're affecting the actual space in between each image. And therefore, the space in between each image is what you're changing. And therefore, the space would always be consistent no matter what size box you have. And then if you did want it overlapping, you could make that space a negative value. And I think that would be a better wheel. More consistent wheel, anyway. Anyway, so at this point, I need to get a bunch of files from my other computer. I can't see of another way of doing it other than to go to my other computer and copying them. So yeah, I think in every aspect it would somewhat look better. Give me a few minutes. I will get the files. I'll be right back, and then I'll finish this theme off. All right. Let's see where I put them. So where do I need them? Let's find that place first. Oh, yeah, I can't find them in here. Let me find them in here. I'm gonna put them inside of... I think it's platform, right? Your logos. Now, where do I have them? Probably in here. There they are. So at this point, I should be able to export this. Publish the theme. Hopefully it brings over the images. Even though BigBox is open. Let's clear the cache. You keep scrapping your designs as you go. There you go. This looks more like the theme. That's a good question. I wonder if the background's definitely not black. Right, 14. Yeah, that's got to be the next step, right? Changing the opacity. I actually don't have a background, so let me make rectangle is probably what I'm looking for. Yeah, so do you think that's the best way? An opacity? Oh, we can't do an opacity mask on this. I guess the platform views don't have the opacity. Yeah, or the rectangle thing, right? So we can definitely do that. It would need to be a black rectangle. Let's start it at 0, 0. Height of 1080. It's hard to know whether that's too wide or not wide enough. Let's think about this. So, I mean, let's assume that that's enough. And you know what? I don't think this is gonna work. Oh no, it should work if I use the same color. And then that's the same, right? Yeah. Because if I use black, then there would be a clear line. I'd have to use the same color as the background and then put the opacity. You'd say you think 10? I'm almost thinking 50%. Is that too much? Let's say this is the background. This is the left opacity. Oops. This is the right one. Now, there is one issue with this. I'm trying to think if I fix this problem actually. Well, let's see if I'm right. So there is one issue that I may be able to solve. It's more of a nitpicky issue actually. Yeah. Okay, what did I do? I put it in the middle. Yeah, I forgot to move it. All right, publishing. Looks beautiful, right? Actually, I don't find it to be as big a deal as I thought it would. So there is a clear line that when you move it, it's like an exact line that you could see it come out of the rectangle, but it's not that visible. I thought it'd be more visible. But 50% did work, right? That doesn't look too bad. This is the same sort of thing I did with RetroFresh. And I thought if the line was visible, I could do like a gradient. But in this case, I don't think that we need the gradient. Okay, so the last piece of the puzzle here is this line and this saying that 15 games are available. This is going to be problematic. And that's just because until parenting comes in, I can't have this centered. It would have to be justified one way or another. The way that I got around this... Here we go again. Yep. I'm trying to think of ways around this. Does anybody remember what the binding property is for total games? I can always forget what Jason created. Did he put that in the documentation yet? Oh, this is a mess. Okay, so let's go to... I think it's... no. It's F LaunchBox. Because there was an old value that never really worked that well. And then he created, that's weird, he created a new value and put it in a forum post. And then I remember a lot of people saying, like, asking me what it was, and it had only been in that one forum post, and I couldn't remember what that forum post was. Is it total? Yeah, so this is the old one. This one doesn't work. See if there's another one. Can I do that? To just see what the binding value is? Am I doing this right? At this point, how would I see the binding value? Okay, I am needing to change my headset. Apparently, my battery's low. I will be right back, and then I'll have to do a bunch of settings on this new headset. All right. All right. I'm going to need to do a bunch of settings changes. Actually, let's add a device. All right. Well, let's make sure I'm using the device. All right, can you guys can still hear me? Cool. Okay, let's finish this up. I need to go into ArtBook. What do you think it would be called? Game count? Game count? Games count. It's just binding game count. Games count. Okay. All right, so I'm pretty terrible at this, but actually, this is going to be fun. User source. Anybody memorize what this should be? Text block. Text binding games count. Something like that. Font size would be 25. Font family. This is where I'm going to struggle because I don't remember. Oh, does it not like that? That I put nothing in there? Or did I do that wrong? Let's edit that. So what did I do wrong here? Is it binding? Anybody remember? I'm gonna have to look at some old files. Binding path equals game count. Like that. Binding path. There you go. Or at least it didn't give me an error. I don't know if it's right. All right, so I do know where that forum post is. Oops. I've apparently never been to the site on this computer. Where is that? Here. So that's a good question. Do I want to use string format? That is one option for sure. There is another option. Let me get this theme correct. So I'm assuming, no, I should just close this. It's going to confuse me. So the font I'm using is this one. It's just Cabin as the font name, Cabin Bold. Oops. One of these has got to be the custom fonts. There it is. I need this whole thing. I hate this, especially if I'm going to change the name of the font or the theme. I'll have to remember this. Okay, so font family. It should just be themes. It should be ArtBook right now. And it should be Cabin. I think it's a TTF. Oh, it's a Cabin dash bold. So what do you mean? Use the published view using that font format. Cabin. Are you talking about just making this what I want and then copying and pasting from the actual XAML? So an example would be oh, am I referencing from the forum? Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm doing here. I'm referring to the forum. So using the published theme that I have of ArtBook. So you do mean, let's say I make this. Yeah, it has text elements, but wouldn't it be simpler to just I don't know if I can do this, but make this exactly what I need. And then if I publish this, which I'm not sure, is it? Let's take a look at what that is. Ooh, it's so tiny. If I publish this, can I copy and paste that into a user source? And then how much of this would I need to copy and paste? Like this whole thing? If I did that, that's okay. Although would the width and this sort of thing need to be removed? Because it's currently has an element name that may not exist later, or yeah, maybe it doesn't make sense to take all this. But I mean, I've basically got it here. Yeah, I don't need that much font property stuff though. I think I have almost all of it already in the user source. I'll have to play around with the font size. Like what else would I need? So at this point, I could potentially do a string. I could do this, which I've seen before. I guess that has to be capital. Text align. All right. Center. And they put games available. So this actually works. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it's proper. Let's see if it works. Oh, this doesn't like it. Or it doesn't like something. Ah. I feel like I've used it before. I can't remember how to use... Can't remember how to use this. Do you remember? Remember how to do the string format? Let's look at one of these. Thing not so old. Yeah, so just string format. And then I would need to do, say something like this. I would call this, that was wrong, available games. That looks better. That would be games count, available games. It don't like that either. Is it not liking the text align? Did I do that wrong? Check my Discord. Ah, yeah, I guess you could do that too. Never done that before. Run text. Interesting. Although this should work, right? This should work. What am I missing here? Doesn't seem to like my string format. I mean, shouldn't be that confusing. I feel like I have the correct stuff, but it's not taking it. Okay, so let's do it this other way. I didn't know you can do run text. Yeah, run text. Oh, and you need to have a space. Am I missing anything here? No. Now I don't know whether this is actually needs to be capitals. It does. Available games. Yeah. That looks correct on what you had. No, that's not what you had. Oh, you're right. I pasted text. That's odd. Yeah, I guess I did that. That looks better. And it's not better. Can you see what I'm missing? Alignment. There you go. Perfect. Should it be finding the binding in this? I guess not. I need to have a font color foreground and something like that. No, it's completely not that. Let's use that one. All right. So what do you mean by preferences game count? Where am I putting that? Oh, I see. Like here, preferences dot games count. Like that. You lied. All right. I guess we don't actually need that. The color picker that I'm using is called Instant Eye Picker, I think. Let's see. Instant Eyedropper. So it allows you to choose different codes. So I'm choosing the, I don't know. You can basically create your own profile. But the HTML color code was pretty much what we need. And I create the template. And then just make it launch at startup. And all you can do is just click it. And it will pick the color of anything on your screen. Yeah, I love that. Makes life so much easier. Okay, so this should be perfect. I just need to center it. So let's align it to the center. Perfect. I don't know exactly where it needs to be. Somewhere here, let's say. I'm gonna delete this one for now. And one more rectangle, I think. With this color. Squishy, oh no. Height 4. Oh, a rectangle can't be under 8 height. Oh, do you think if I remove the 775 and I added back the preferences into here, it would work? Or is this just a bust at this point? Yeah, it's okay. All right, so using a frame instead. So let's, that is not deleting. Let me delete. Frame. Background color is 60s. With the frame itself, are you talking about just the border? Like, can that be? No, so you're talking about just using the border. I see. I see. Well, let's do, I don't even know, 4, 3. Then the border color would have to be this one. And then I'll just make the background 0. Opacity. There you go. Where's the center? There's the center. I feel like maybe this should go down to 2. What do you think? Well, let's take a look. I think this, if this works, it might be too high. It might be going over the, wait, what's that? There it is. Ooh, look at that placement. Well, let's see. Because everything's centered here, yeah, it's lucky. This is basically where I would have to put it, no matter what I have here. If you notice, there's like 2 spaces in between that. Do you think I really need to put? Let's take a look. The extra user source space, it almost seems like it added an extra space. Like I don't even need this space. Let's find out if that's true. Wait, did I save that? It's still adding a space. I don't know if I saved it. I did. Save. Save. Did I publish it? Maybe that's not what I not did. Okay. That looks better. Perfect. Look at that. Yeah, animation time, right? Okay, so let's take a look at a few pieces of animation here. So do you think I should animate the frame as well? Let's animate the user source. So I'm gonna make it fade out. Oh yeah, is that not gonna happen? Yeah, tell me about the font scale to resolution properly. Oh god. Yeah, I set it to 25. Okay, so while you tell me that, I'm making it go from 0 to 100, and I'm gonna make it take, what do you think, 1 second? Is that too long? 0.8. Is that too short? Want something. Let's do easing out. So let me know if I can do whatever you're about to say within the user source. So copy and paste the animate. Yeah, I haven't. Immediately. While during selection. During selection? No. While selected. Once selected. Is that right? That's right. I need it. Current opacity to 0. And I want that to be during selection. I was completely wrong there. What did I do there? Something's messed up. Okay, this one I changed while scrolling my mouse wheel. Okay, so once selected, it needs to become visible 100%. But during the selection, it needs to become invisible. That should work, right? Looks like it's working. The last thing I want is, let's say something like, whoops, is a move. So let's see if I can figure this out. New. I want it to move up and down from a defined location. No, not a defined, a new location. to a define location. Have that take, oh. Do I want to move? Yes. I don't know if I really want to set it now. Let's find out. I want it to move at one, no, sorry. I want it to last. I'm gonna say 1 second. And let's also ease out of that. Let's see what that does. Maybe nothing. Do I need it longer? Might need it longer. 1.3. Oh, you're right. That'll only happen at load. Well, let me do. I think I need it longer anyway. Let's do 1.1. And I keep forgetting to do this. It's once selected. Yeah. I did not need to add that extra time though. In fact, I almost feel like I want to put that at 0.9. I want it to end just as it fades in. Okay. Why does it seem like there's so much time? I also, let's put 0.8, and I also feel like this is too much. I was trying to match up the time with the fade. That looks a bit better. Like as it fades in, it should already be moving, and then when it's fully faded in, it should stop moving. That gives it a little bit more polish. So I think that's good. Another thing that I'd like to do is take this wheel, and I'm gonna do an animate. I'm gonna need a width. So I'm gonna start at 50%, and I'm gonna go to 100% over a course of just like 1 second, I think. And I'll also do, I don't know, have you played around with all of these? I want to ease out. So what is like the difference between an exponential ease, power ease, quadratic ease? And I guess from a design point of view, it's hard to know how I'm controlling things. So let's test one. Like a cubic ease. F times t equals t to t3 or t to the power 3 or something. Yeah, my brother's a math teacher. He would know what the heck's going on there. Or do I want a power ease? That sounds fun. Let's do a power ease of 1, and I want that to only happen Those notes came from Microsoft. Yeah, sounds like something Microsoft would do. All right. I hope that's good. So now I need that to also be part of, I need the same thing, but I need it for up scale height. So scaling height, I'm going also from 50% to 100, and I want it to last, what did I say, 1 second. Power ease out. There you go. Can I do that in the same sequence? Shoot, you're right. I can just add it here, can't I? But I'd have to do a start time of the same, the amount, power ease out. That looked right. You can copy and paste a frame. So if I were to change this to height, yeah, that's what I thought. So I would just redo it. But that's so cool. See, that's why we do streams, so that I can learn. I can learn what all my mistakes are and how to optimize building themes. Nice. Perfect. Okay. So let's see how that looks. All right. What do you think? Let's look at that again. It's really subtle and quick. Nice. Just a little bit of polish. It's almost like a little bit of fluidity happening with the theme. Gonna watch that just one last time. Just zooms in slightly. And I think that, whoa. I think that pretty much does it. I think I might do a little bit of animation for some of the game view. Maybe just like a startup animation. Oh, the font scaling trick. You were telling me about that. Yeah, let's finish that off, and then I'll package this up, and I'll end the stream and package this theme up, I think. I mean, well, there's a few more things that I gotta do, but this is definitely more than I thought I'd do today. Okay, so I'm ready. I'm ready to learn. So I'm adding any kind of text. Yep. So I'm changing the font family to cabin. Do you remember what I set the font size to? Was it 20? That does not look like cabin. $25. All right. Right. Yep, I'm bypassing the font stuff. So I need to publish this at this point, is what you're saying? All right, so save. I need to publish. I'll need to go into the XAML and text one. There's text one. Looking for font size, which is gotta be one of these. It's binding. So here, copy that font size. I'm gonna have to hide. Oh, I see. I don't have to hide. I just have to not have text inside of this. Ah. So that's it? I did that, right? I feel like I did that. Font size. Crop text one, font size. Okay, so this is a good workaround, yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at what it looks like. So pasting that in or publishing it. Sweet. So it looks exactly the same. And it's going to scale properly. And I'm gonna have to do that for banner box in the same place that I use this same trick. Nice. It will scale nice. Oh, that's so cool. All right. So I think at this point, I'm gonna end the stream, guys. I think it was a success. managed to do all the setup that I had to do. Got the microphone and everything working properly. So before I go though, do you think this would be good? So the plan would be to do a stream like this, I don't know, once every few weeks. Pick a theme. Like I've got a list of maybe 15 different themes that I'd want to do like this. Some are ports, some are reworkings of my old themes, and some might be brand new themes. I would have all the assets ready and I would be building it within the editor as much as I can, and we would do a stream like this and go from nothing to something. And at the end, I will publish it after the stream at some point, and sort of have links everywhere. So for people that are watching the YouTube video later, they can go and pick up the theme. They'll even publish like the editor files, so people can download, like you could download this theme and put it into the community editor and mess around with it. Yep, and showing how you can create static custom images. So I do have a theme that will require that, at least one that I can think of, and I'm sure I can think of others. I definitely need to be on my own computer. Like this computer has this one version of LaunchBox that has these 5 systems, so, which I don't know, maybe it's okay to do that, but I'd like to use my own computer though, and at that point I need to buy a desk and figure out some stuff and move the computer to a more private place so I'm not bothering people. But yeah, that's the plan. So hopefully at this point, I didn't really want to invite a lot of people to this one because it was more of like a setup and just sort of, yeah, away from the washing machine. It was more of a setup type of a stream, but that turned into a full-fledged building of this. Maybe I'll build this again. I kind of don't want to, but got one theme out of the way. And yeah, I'll hopefully be on my own computer, and yeah, I tested your build and you got to see, I think from your perspective, you got a unique perspective, Dave, in that you're watching me use your program and seeing how I interact with it and get feedback from that standpoint. And I think every single stream that we do, we will each learn from each other, you know, like you would have your way of doing it, you know, Neil and Dave. I would have my way of doing it, and we both, like, I came away with pieces of information, you came away with pieces of information, and I think every stream will be like that. And I think starting next time I should definitely start advertising it more. I know Jason's really excited about this, and he definitely wants to get the word out there when I start streams like this. I didn't really advertise this one. I didn't want that many people to actually join. Yeah, and every single episode we will just keep adding, every single stream will keep adding items to your list. And then the community in general will benefit all for the updates that we keep making for the community editor, and hopefully they can learn something from watching these videos. I'm not sure if I'm gonna bundle this one up and release it. I probably should, right? I'll figure that out later, but for now, yeah, for now, I'll just end the stream, and hopefully I'll have one soon, and we'll see you guys hopefully on the stream as well. And if I do post this, thanks everyone for watching this on YouTube. All right. Sort of try to end this one here.